Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Pemko. This is their part number 200 BSP. This is a this is a piece of equipment that is a threshold in a relatively new finish for Pemko. That would be BSP, black suede powder coat. This is nothing other than mill aluminum that's been powder coated black. So black is these days, 2018, certainly 2019, black is the new color, the new in vogue color, and you know it's really popular when they're even doing thresholds in that sort of color. You know, it's really something else. It's a testament. The camera, the lighting is washing this out a bit. This is indeed black. You really can't see it very well there. The case to this equipment is black. You can see that the two of them match. They're both black. This is a 200 by Pemko, otherwise just a standard threshold. It's a 200. A 200 means that it is an offset, not an offset, it's a bump-up style threshold that you're going to use in applications where you simply need to seal something, transition something very thin. You might have a door reside over this area and you simply want to have some sort of a barrier at the bottom of the door. You don't want to have a undercut, exposed, open. This has dimensional properties, as you can see in the image down below, 3-inch wide. It has an overall height of 3/8 of an inch. That's going to put your door area down here at about 1/8, maybe 3/16. Yeah, they're calling it as 1/8 of an inch. Okay, you'll have the rabbet for the area that the door will reside in, right at 2-inch. Okay, the rest of that's going to be 1-inch. And where will you use this? Somewhere where you have a very short undercut the door, but underneath the door, but you still want to seal it off. I would see something like this used very typically in an office environment, interior application, where you simply want to close off the bottom of the unit. You could also install material like this in an application where you are literally doing, believe it or not, windows. You could use this sort of item as not only a casework around your window, a jamb and header, so to speak. You would be able to mortise adjustable pile weather strip to the edge of the wood sash or window itself. That will provide a stop for the window to stop against. You will be sealing it here. It's very elegant. It has a nice profile to it. So really wherever you can envision where you would use this is where you would certainly use this. If you had a really tight undercut and then an automatic door bottom that's mortised to the bottom of the door, this would be sublime for that sort of application. You've got your bump here. You're going to seal down here. There you go. Again, 1/8 of an inch, 3/8 over here, 3-inch wide. If it suits your requirements, there you go. There's a hole drilled in the sample because they obviously had to hang this in order to paint this. Powder coating, and I'm not an expert. I've not powder coated personally, but I'm familiar with the process. It's paint is what it is. It's paint that's basically dry. Any overspray when you're spraying powder coat is swept up. It's not wet. What makes it special is that you are running an electrical charge through the paint particle itself. You'll have a certain charge and then the opposite charge flowing in the workpiece. So what happens? Obviously, grammar school science basically, the paint really adheres down to the base material because of that, the opposite electrical charges. Powder coating is known to be an exceptionally durable finish. If I were to take a hammer to this, the paint will not flake off. It will dent and damage, but you aren't going to lose paint like you would in plating. If I were to strike something that's polished brass plated, plating is going to flake off, is what will happen. So powder coating is a very durable finish, and that would make it certainly advantageous. I suppose the downside of powder coating is it's paint, so it's going to look like paint. The upside of paint is, you know, there are likely hundreds of variations of paint colors that you could possibly do in powder coating. Pemko and her sister companies, McKinney and Rockwood and Sargent and Corbin Russwin, Yale, Norton, they of late have been absolutely promoting this custom capability, whether it be specialized shapes of hardware for door stops or knobs, but it also absolutely includes their ability to custom finish things. Their latest marketing brochure basically said, send us a sketch of what you want. We'll definitely take a look at it. Black, they can powder coat red as well. You want red thresholds, they'll do it. White, they'll certainly do that as well. On special order, they'll probably do any color. And I really enjoy working with companies, especially Rockwood, who is a sister company of Pemko. They all but encourage requests for special orders, and it's because, to me, it's a throwback to well over 100 years ago. If you were to look at an old catalog, you can look at an old Yale catalog, a sister company to Pemko. You won't find 3 options of levers like you really kind of had in the early 90s when handicap compliance was overnight mandatory. Levers on door hardware. You had dozens of choices. Well, these companies have brought that back. Dozens of choices, dozens of finishing options. And that's, I feel like we're living in a golden era at this time of options, possibilities. Who could have dreamt a black powder-coated threshold? Here it is, very common. They've got the paint, they've got the sprayer, they've got the oven to heat this up for the amount of time it takes to cure the paint, whatever that temperature is, and the amount of time. I don't recall. A hallmark of powder coating is that they'll powder coat the least expensive base material. So in the world of Rockwood, their sister company, when they're powder coating door stops, they're not going to powder coat brass or bronze. They're going to powder coat stainless steel or whatever the least expensive material is. In this case, it's just aluminum. This would be mill, the base of this. If we drilled or cut into this, you'd see mill, just raw aluminum, whatever alloy is used for hardware. And then they'll powder coat it, but that hole there is definitely to hang that, is what they did. How they do it on 8-foot thresholds, I don't know. They very likely will have to drill a hole in that as well. They'll probably, as I've witnessed, hollow metal manufacturers prime their material. Everything is hung. All of the products can be hung. It has some sort of hole to hang it. It goes through a paint line and then goes literally into an oven, that same overhead conveyor system with hooks hanging down will then, from the spray booth to the curing area where there's an oven, this could be the same way. I'm really not sure, but regardless of how they do it, here it is. They probably have to be hanging it because they hit all surfaces of the item, even the bottom. It might just be the way they do it, rather than try to paint the primary surface correctly. They might just literally say cover everything with paint so that everything's covered. Okay. Now, we talked about the size, where you can possibly see it, why it's black powder coat. It's available, it's listed in the site in lots of different lengths, everything from 2 foot, and probably by the time you're seeing this, it'll probably be up to 16-foot lengths. You get past 7 foot and the freight gets expensive, so be mindful of that. That'll be calculated at the time of checkout, or if it's too long for the checkout process to handle correctly, then we'll have to handle that by quoting an LTL rate. You'll probably want to order the net size that you want. So order the next longest piece or pieces and indicate in the comment field what length you'd like for us to cut the material back to. The reasoning is this. They've powder coated the ends of this threshold. If you were to take a 3-foot threshold and cut it down for a 2-foot 10 door, you're going to have some exposed aluminum. So you may want to order the next longest piece or pieces, indicate in the comment field the net length you'd like for us to ship the material out at, and that's just simply how we'll proceed with doing it. This item can come countersunk with fasteners. If you don't want it countersunk or absolutely do want it countersunk with fasteners, however, indicate that in the comment field as well, and we'll pass that information to the manufacturer. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Pemko products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Any questions on the Pemko number 200 and a black suede powder coat or any other Pemko product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.